Hi, I'm Charlie Thorburn. Welcome to Gundogs. I'm just going to talk a little bit about being a dog trainer. What makes a good dog trainer? I guess the first thing is the passion for dogs. You've got to love dogs. You're not going to be good at something. You're not going to be really good at something unless you love it. And I know everyone goes, oh, I love dogs. But there's people who love dogs, and then there's people who are obsessed by dogs, as my wife would say. And I'm definitely one of those. When my wife met me, I had 11 dogs living in the house, and 6 of them slept on the bed. And people must go, oh God, 6 dogs on the bed, Gundogs. I thought they were really serious, trained dogs. They'd all earned their place. They were all awesome, well-behaved dogs. And the moment I said get off, they all got off. So it worked. Obviously, it didn't work when I got married. And having 12 dogs in the house, 11 or 12 dogs in the house with 2 kids and things also doesn't work that well. So we have a sort of constant balance in our life about how many dogs we're allowed or how many dogs I'm allowed in the house. I keep sneaking them in and then I go away and they get taken back out again. And we normally have a balance at around 4, 5, 6, something like that. Anyway, I'm digressing. Patience. Really important, obviously, to be patient. But you've got to be strict as well. You can't just be that lovely, oh, it's okay, they'll be fine. You've got to be like, I'm patient, I'll wait, I'll put the time in. But you've got to be disciplined and you've got to insist that the dogs listen to you and you're disciplined with them as well as being disciplined with yourself. You've also got to be quite strong-willed, which is something that comes pretty naturally to me. And you've got to be especially strong-willed if you're dealing with strong-willed dogs like Cocker Spaniels or German point wire head pointers or something like that. Because if you're not strong-willed enough, you're too quick to kind of let something go. You've got to, when you're training a dog, you've got to be very, very clear about what you're trying to do and that you will not accept anything but what you're trying to do. Because as soon as you accept second or third or fourth, the whole thing becomes a waste of time because you purvey this very confusing message to the dog. They don't really understand what you're actually asking of them. You've also got to be really mindful. And I know that sounds a little bit deep, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm not one for being kind of deep necessarily. It's all just a big joke to me, but you've got to be mindful. And what I mean by that is you've got to think about it from the dog's point of view. Too many people say, oh, but I told them to do this. Oh, I said no. Does the dog actually understand you? Because my dogs don't speak English, they don't speak French, and they don't speak Swahili. They speak dog because they are dogs. So we need to speak back at them in a way they can understand. And the best way to do that is with your body language, with your tone of voice. I constantly say to people, I've got this Jekyll and Hyde personality, okay? 1 minute I can be all, good boy, come to me. And the next minute, what are you doing wrong? You've got to be quite dramatic, because if you're dramatic, it's very, very clear for the dog. This is right, this is wrong. That's him praising me, that's him discouraging me. And when you're telling a dog off because they're doing something wrong, whether that's because they're about to eat a bit of horse poo, or they're stealing a bit of Lego off the counter, or they're about to get run over by a bus, you need to be quick to react, and you need to be decisive about how you act. If you kind of go, oh, should I tell them off? Oh, I'm not sure. As soon as you've even thought that, you've missed your moment. You've got to be bang, done, dealt with, over. And dogs will love you for that because that's how they are. The other thing is, the other key word would be humility. Now, what I mean by that is you're ever learning, okay? I am ever learning. I've trained more dogs than probably most people. I have more dogs than most people. I see more dogs than most people, but I am learning all the time. I'm not really learning off the people necessarily. I learn a little bit still off people, but what I really learn off is I learn off the dogs, because the dogs will show you themselves if your reactions are right, if your timing is right, if the way you're speaking to them is right. Because if you're trying to show them how to do something and they don't understand it, it's because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're not communicating. It's your fault. It's not because the dog's just stupid or the dog's just headstrong. It's because you're getting it wrong. There are, of course, dogs that are harder to train and you have to work harder with them. But you've got to be aware that if a dog is clearly not understanding something you're telling them, yelling at them, yanking them on the lead, getting annoyed at them, none of those things are going to work. You've got to step back. You've got to be mindful, and you think, well, why are they not understanding? What am I doing wrong? Take a video of yourself. Get someone else to take a video of you. You learn a lot by watching yourself and your body language, because what you think you're doing is actually not what you're doing. When someone gets a dog from us and they say, oh, if I have any troubles, can I give you a call? I'm like, yeah, please give me a call. No problem at all. But what would be better is if you're having a problem, get someone else to take a video of you trying to get the dog to do whatever you're trying to get them to do. And if I can watch the dog's body language and the person's reaction and body language, I can normally fix the problem much, much quicker than by what the person's telling me over the phone. Because what they tell me is what they think. It's not what the dog thinks. The last thing is energy. Now, anyone who's watched, we've done a few videos now, not a lot, but we've done a few. And anyone who's watched my videos, you'll see that I'm all about about energy. If you're calm, you need to be calm in a calm situation where you want a dog to be calm. But you also need to react when you want a dog to react, okay? If you ask a dog to run over there and get a ball, they're gonna kind of go over there half-heartedly and get a ball. Whereas if you say, go on, fetch it, good boy, bring it back, and you're enthusiastic about it, your energy is translated over to the dog. Now, the problem with that is some people are just terribly boring people, and they can't do that. So if you're one of those boring people, you need to snap out of it. And I had a funny situation a year ago. I was training a really lovely little Cocker Spaniel for a chap, and he was a Marine. And Marines are very serious. They've got very serious haircuts. They stand very straight. They do lots of running. They do lots of press-ups. They're great people. I mean, they're awesome for like defending our country, but they're quite serious. And the thought of trying to get him to roll around on the ground and go, puppies, puppies, it was just not going to happen. But what I said to him, I said, you've got to do it. So what to do is don't do it in the middle of the base in Arbroath. Don't do it in the middle of the park in Edinburgh. Go and do it in a field, on a hill, away from everybody, so that your dog gets that bond with you. Because as soon as he saw me doing it with his dog, and he saw the way the dog reacted to me, and saw how happy the dog was to follow me around after that, he realized that I wasn't talking nonsense. But until then, he'd been quite upright, saying, sit, heel, do this, do that, go over there, go faster, go slower. And he was dealing with it like he was dealing with other Marines. The dogs are not Marines, they're dogs. And you need to mold them using your personality by changing the way you do things. It's not about changing the dog, it's about changing yourself to adapt with the dog so that you get the best out of them. I hope you've all found this useful, and I hope you're enjoying our clips. Remember, you get out what you put in. We'll see you again soon.